Illegal contact. Number 21, defense. The penalty's all set. Replay, second down.
Well, Chris McAllister with a foul in the secondary for Baltimore, so that negates this holding call against Samuels.
Well, Samuels, number 60, you can see beaten to the inside, and you know what? He just grabs the guy, keeps him from hitting his quarterback, and downfield, that's the negating part of it with McAllister with the hook there. That's really, though, Samuels, the first time we've seen much of McCrary today.
He's done a terrific job, this number 1 draft pick at left tackle. Davis. And he's to the 27-yard line. Appears to be a yard shy of a first down. Cornell Brown and Rob Burnett in on the stop. There's Samuels. He's from Alabama. Won the Outland Trophy as the top lineman in college football a year ago. 4.9 speed.
Check this out, Dick. He pulls on the trap. Watch this. Oh, hello. Runs right over Rob Burnett, knocks him flat.
And looks for more.
And looks for more.
Keep him away from the dinner table.
We talked about LeVar Arrington being the second player taken. There's number 3.
Into the flat to centers, but a good play by Dwayne Starks, who reacts quickly to make the tackle at the 25-yard line.
Ooh, how critical is this spot?
And Tom White, the referee, will call time and call in the chains.
No shortage of opinions over there as to where the ball should be spotted, both pro and con.
I have 4.5 minutes into the second half, a 3-3 tie. In case you're just joining us, a new Washington kicker in his first game, Chris Hepner, hit a 37-yard field goal in the second quarter, and that was answered by veteran Matt Stover of Baltimore. And that is the scoring, and that's a first down for Washington.
You saw the spotting of the ball, gave them a first down by just about net. Larry Centers doing everything he can do to keep his forward momentum up towards the marker. You're hard-pressed to find anybody as skillful coming out of the backfield. Catching the ball is Larry Centers. Yeah, granted, he's no Marshall Faulk after he catches it. But boy, he grabs it and goes.
Johnson for Thrash, intercepted. The pass was short, and Starks has his third of the season.
I think you got to give some credit to Lionel Dalton, number 91. I believe he was the defensive lineman that was in Brad Johnson's face. Pressure up the middle will force more bad throws than anything else.
Ravens with another turnover. Football at Miami of Florida denies the drive of the Redskins with his third interception. Ball at the 12. And Jamal Lewis struggling out to the 15-16-yard line.
Dwayne Starks, who didn't play last week because of a hamstring in that win over Jacksonville, really kind of working over the top, aiding out his other fellow corner, Chris McAllister. All right, there's Dalton, number 91, up the middle. But after an interception, the quarterback is fair game. Hey, say hi to Rob Burnett. He just buries Brad Johnson. The quarterback has got to put his head on a swivel after he throws an interception. Somebody's coming after him.
Tied at 3 here in the third quarter. It's Lewis again, and he is belted after a yard pickup. Still 3-3. What's happening elsewhere, Jim Nance?
Don't forget that you can keep bang up to date with American sports by visiting sports.com. And why not tune into Fox Sports News, which is now on Sky Sports Extra for all your NFL stories.
Unfamiliar territory for the Chargers to be ahead in the second half. In Buffalo, mind you.
How hungry can they be for a win?
Oh.
You live in San Diego. I think you know.
It's been a tough ball. Third down. And Banks goes into the shotgun. The quick throw is complete. Shannon Sharp. And Sharp all the way out to the 40-yard line and a first down. He started today with 20 catches in his new purple uniform after all those years in the Denver Orange.
And you would think that Tony Banks would do everything he could do to get the ball to Shannon Sharp more consistently. Just a simple crossing pattern, and it puts the Skins defense in a trailing position. You can see Sam Shade really is not a match for trying to keep up with Shannon Sharp, who, even in his 30s, is still one of the most finely conditioned athletes ever to play this game.
7 times a Pro Bowler. Well, first down, and they move into the 40-yard line. Lewis stutter stepping and finally driving out to the 42-yard line. Bonnie?
Guys, if you look at Jonathan Ogden, he's still limping considerably with that sprained ankle, but all he had in the locker room at halftime was a new tape job. He's very insistent upon continuing to play, but guys, you have to wonder at some point whether it's better to have a less than 100% Ogden straight up on Smith or put somebody else in there and use somebody to double him.
They call him the Beast. He is so huge at 6'8" and 340. Played his high school football at St. Albans in D.C., and he's a proud guy, and he wants to play in front of his friends and family today, even though obviously not 100%.
No, but he's playing well enough.
Banks finds Sharp again, and that's close to first down yardage at the 50. Mark Carrier covering. You talk about Sharp and how well conditioned he is at 32. He loves to come into interviews with his shirt off, and it's so difficult to see a man that physically tuned.
I'll never forget talking to him earlier this year and saying, you know, all I do is go to the complex and work out and play games and stay home. He said, you know, in the 10 years I was in Denver, I never even went to Colorado Springs. Now, how far is it from Denver to Colorado Springs? What, 40 miles or amazing.
It was a first down. Here's the screen to Lewis, and it's read brilliantly by Carrier, the veteran from Southern California, reacting immediately and dropping Lewis for a loss of 4.
Well, one of the many #1 draft picks playing for this Redskins defense. Mark was the Bears' #1 choice back in 1990, known as a big hitter, a sure tackler, and the free safety doesn't miss many. If he's got a clean shot at the ball carrier, more often than not, Mark brings him down.
Out of Long Beach, California, went to Poly High School, produced so many great athletes: Gene Washington, Billie Jean King, Earl McCullough, many others. Priest Holmes now at tailback, and whistle sounds, and that had the look of possibly being a run pass with Holmes throwing.
Play a game. Offense. 5-yard
get it off in time.
Remains second down.
5-yard penalty brings up 2nd and 20.
Oh, the angst of being a head coach in the National Football League when your offense is struggling.
So Tony Banks passing has only 63 yards in the game. He's 9 for 17 with an interception thrown from the 1-yard line at the end of the half. Intercepted in the Washington end zone. Quick throw complete to Sharp again. Indeed, they found the tight end Sharp. 15 more yards for him before Sam Shade can drag him down.
Don't lose track of number 82. Don't lose track of number 82, Tony. He'll make something happen. He'll get open. He's such a contrast to Ben Coates, who's such a physical tight end. Let's take a look. Bruce Smith gets a great jump on the ball, takes the upfield rush, but Ogden runs him deep enough that he's not a factor, not able to get in on Tony Banks.
14 yards on the play, 3rd and 6. Banks. And it's caught by Lewis, Jermaine Lewis, and a first down at the Washington 35. In front of Deion Sanders, and Sanders had tight coverage.
Well, again, Jermaine Lewis trying to sell the deep route. Takes a 10-yard sprint down the field and then just stops. Remember, we saw him run it on the other side of the field, and he spun David Terrell all the way around. This time, Deion didn't buy it, had good coverage, but a very good throw by Tony Banks was the reason for that being a catch.
Sanders, who doesn't gamble as much as he did when he was younger, he'll give you the shorter pass and not take a chance on trying to cut it off and go all the way. First down at the 35 and another whistle. And Brian Billick doesn't like the early signal.
Offense.
Wow, that was quick, wasn't it?
Remains first down.
5-yard delay of game takes it back to the 40-yard line.
Well, your initial reaction a lot of times is to think about it being the quarterback's fault, but a lot of time the play is late coming in from the sideline. But Tony's got to look at the clock. He's under center with 4 seconds still on the play clock. You just got to hurry it up and go. And that's a good call by the official. They did not beat it.
Give it to Lewis. And he's brought down on a great tackle by Kennard Lang. 4th-year defensive end, a 277-pounder from Miami of Florida. Monday on CBS begins with an all new King of Queens starring Kevin James and Jerry Stiller. Then the new comedy hit Yesteryear. And you don't want to miss Monday's #1 comedy Everybody Loves Raymond, followed by Becker starring Ted Danson. Family Law with new cast member Tony Danza hits cleanup. It's all Monday night on CBS.
2nd and long. This is where everybody who likes the Ravens has to take a deep breath.
To the sidelines and a diving try by Travis Taylor, the rookie, but unable to come up with it. Taylor was the 10th player selected in the draft. 4 of the top 10 players picked in the spring draft are in this game today. There they are. Arrington and Samuels were 2 and 3 by Washington, and then Lewis for Baltimore 5th and Travis Taylor 10th.
All of them having productive years for their 2 clubs.
3rd and 15. A big blitz is on, and Banks throwing and has a man open. Incomplete. Lewis.
Out of bounds again. He throws the ball. We've seen that 3 or 4 times today, where the ball, even if it's caught, is going to be caught 3 yards out of bounds. Now Tony's forced to pull up. There's no question the blitz by Matt Stevens, but this ball just could not ever be caught in the field of play. Good coverage out there by Champ Bailey.
Field goal would be 55 yards, so Richardson comes in to punt with the James Thrash beat for the Redskins, and he's been outstanding on kick returns and pass catches today. Very, very high. They let it go, and it goes into the end zone. Unable Billy Davis to make the catch at the 1-yard line. So the Redskins will have it at the birthday this weekend. John Wooden, the great UCLA coach, and Lincoln, his favorite American. Stephen Davis met right at the line of scrimmage. May have moved forward for a yard against this Baltimore defense, allowing 50.7 yards per rush this season, and even tougher today.
Well, the games aren't played at RFK any longer, but they were transplanted. The Hogs have found their way to Landover.
A couple of Herefords and a Poland China.
Dick, I played 13 years in the NFC East. It was always a thrill to go to RFK.
Out of the backfield up to Centers, who breaks the tackle of Lewis and picks up a first down at the 32. Well, you don't get away from Ray Lewis very often. Centers did. He's got a low centers of gravity at 225 pounds, 6 feet tall.
And it starts with an absolutely wonderful catch, because this ball way down at Larry's feet, he catches like the top quarter of that football. So not only does he have to concentrate and come to a complete stop, look at this catch. Look at that. And then he's agile enough to make Ray Lewis miss. Well, that's doing everything by Larry Centers.
And a well-earned first down at the 32-yard line. Centers with 5 catches today. Alexander, the tight end, in motion. And a big hole for Davis, and he rips it out to the 47-yard line, a gain of nearly 15.
Stephen Davis still on the ground. And the training staff for the Redskins on their way out. What a monster hole. Let's watch the end of this run. Did somebody land on him there right at the very end?
Looked like they landed on the ball, and it drove it into his rib cage. So
that's right on top of the football, which is sitting right on Stephen Davis's stomach. So one of those two, I suspect, is what caused some damage.
Skip Hicks comes in for Davis and able to move the ball to the 50-yard line, a gain of 3. That Davis run was the longest running play of the game for the Redskins, 15 yards.
And ever since halftime, with Washington's possessions, they have been much more effective. They have been an offense that has started to string together some first downs. And again, you have to wonder, did that interception by Tony Banks, did that take something out of this Baltimore team? Lord knows how demoralizing it had to be.
I'll get out of your way, don't worry.
Second down and 8. Quick throw by Johnson. And it's a tight end, Alexander, who spins away for a first down to the 36-yard line.
And I have never seen Ray Lewis miss this many tackles. Ray Lewis is the all-world middle linebacker for the Ravens, and Ray has been looking human.
That's the end of the third quarter with Washington at the Baltimore 36. Tied at Brad Johnson, first down at the Ravens 36. And Skip Hicks gets the call, giving Davis a breather, a gain of 3 into the arms of McCrary and Lewis.
Stephen Davis, Dick, is going to check back into the game.
Let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein. Dale apparently having some difficulty with her microphone. We'll endeavor to correct that as it goes to 2nd and 7. And a big hole for Davis. One man to beat. Ryan Wilkes, and he can't get him. Touchdown, Davis. Woodson had a chance, the last purple jersey, and Davis with a straight arm.
What a great job at the point of attack by Chris Samuels, by Sims, Fisher, centers with the lead. That's just beautiful power football off of left tackle.
Longest run of the season against this Baltimore defense, a 33-yard touchdown, and now the try for point by Hefner. So Hefner successful in his first field goal as the Skin, and now his first extra point, and finally a touchdown. Davis gives the Redskins a 10-3 lead. Good. Hefner bend over in boot right to the goal line, taken by Corey Harris. 15. 20 and dives out to the 26-yard line. Now Davis with 2 yards the first half, 66 yards in the second half, and the game's first touchdown to give the Redskins a 10-3 lead. 14 minutes 25. Throw by Banks is complete, and it's Ismail dragging Dion with him and all the way to the Washington 47-yard line, as Sanders may have saved a touchdown with a shirt tail grab. Andre Ismail, 28 yards.
You know, Dion is not happy with himself because Dion's on the coverage initially. All right, here's Dion and Ismail. It's just a 5-yard. But right there, Dion was in no man's land. He didn't go up to make the tackle. He just came to a dead stop 3 yards away from Cadre. He's a sitting duck at that target. I don't care how fast he's got to come up and put a hit on the guy.
Ismail's first catch of the game. Banks steps away from pressure, cuts it away, 40, and dives to the 38-yard line. It'll be about a yard shy of a first down. Sean Barber there to cover.
Let's go back and take a look at that touchdown run by Stephen Davis. First of all, here's Samuels. Watch the out block. A great rub-off block here by Keith Sims as he picks up the... And then watch the block by Larry Centers coming right up the middle on Jamie Sharper. That is just the way you draw it up. And then Davis does the rest as he destroys Rod Woodson with that stiff arm. Boy, a coach dreams about seeing one of the plays they drew up executed to that degree.
Second and closer to 2. Lewis has the first down inside the 35-yard line. Oh my, Friday on CBS, Tim Daly and Michael T. Williamson star The new hit drama critics call a lean action machine. Don't miss the future.
Dusting off the big guns.
12 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Baltimore trying to drive to a tying touchdown. They won't do it that way as Sean Barber, the third-year linebacker from Richmond, sacks Banks.
Right up the middle. And one of the most difficult stunts in the world is when you cross your two inside linebackers. And that's what the Redskins did. Derek Smith veers off to the left. Barber loops behind him. Take a look at this. There comes Smith, and watch Barber rub right off his tail, and there is no way to pick him up. Ian Badejo was set to pick up the blitzer, but when Barber went behind Smith, he comes completely free.
Only the second sack for the Redskins today, and now second and long. Quick throw underneath to Sharp, Shannon Sharp, but it's incomplete as Barber there on pass coverage as well. So a sack on one play and back to cover Sharp on the next.
Well, you're right about back-to-back plays by Sean Barber. But this is a ball that should have been caught, and you see that did Shannon take two full steps?
Pretty close.
In this new NFL, though, you got to put that ball away. He didn't. That's an incompletion.
Ravens have gone 11 consecutive quarters without a touchdown.
And they haven't handled the blitz well.
As Kennard Lang jumped into the offensive line, was he drawn offside? The Ravens are retreating. Tom White very deliberate before announcing his call. And now another powwow.
The age-old question, who moved first? Watching his team make one critical error after another. These are not forced errors. These are the mistakes that come from a lack of concentration.
Third and 24. Without a helmet, it's Kennard Lang with a sack. Oh!
How did he lose his helmet so quick? Kennard Lang second in. Oh, he gets it ripped off by Kip Vickers. That's how. Kip Vickers, illegal hands to the face, ripped off Kennard Lang's helmet. Did that slow him down?
Didn't deter him one bit.
How good is that?
So on 4th and 33, Richardson will punt. Rash at the other end. Rash calls a fair catch at the 16-17-yard line. 41-yard punt, no return. 11 minutes and change remaining in the fourth. The Skins by 7.
His right hand, watch the right hand right there on the face mask, rips his helmet off, and Kennard Lang doesn't slow down one bit. Helmet or no, chalk it up.
Vickers, who played at Miami, so did Lang. They'll be talking about that play. Lang, a #1 pick a couple of years ago. Here's Stephen Davis, and he's to the 19-yard line, a gain of a couple. Well, it's always a must in our household on CBS Sunday nights, the 60 minutes. And second down and 8. Lots of time for Johnson. Now he throws it away in the direction of Thrash and Sellers. So no, the flag does go down.
Yeah. If in the estimation of the referee he threw the ball away to avoid taking a sack, he'll call Johnson.
Yeah, he had a couple of receivers pretty close. Usually they let this kind of pass go. And Johnson shows his disappointment.
Tom White, if in his estimation he threw it away, whether there's a receiver nearby or not, if he threw it into the ground near, if he did it to avoid a sack, he'll call it. Now, granted, if it's a catchable, if it's real close, I think you should give the quarterback the benefit of the doubt.
But he did find an open patch of grass and threw it there, although there were a couple of receivers within 5 yards.
There is no infraction for intentional grounding. Number 45 was in the area. It's just an incomplete pass. Third down.
Well, they talked him out of it. Let's take a look at it from upstairs. And this is Tom White. I'm I'm assuming that he did not see that close to the football was Mike Sellers. Not very close to the football.
5 yards.
Was that intentional grounding by Brad Johnson? Of course it was. Did he get away with it? Absolutely.
Johnson again, firing complete. And the play made by Corey Harris on Stephen Alexander, shy of the first down. So the Redskins will have to punt it back to Baltimore.
Can Baltimore score a touchdown? The eternal question being asked 35 miles from here. When will we see a touchdown?
It's okay when you're winning by field goals, as they did 12-0 over Cleveland and 15-10 last week against Jacksonville.
Working on 3 complete games.
Off the side of his foot, Barnard, but it stays inbounds. That's a veteran's roll there, all the way to the 30-yard line. And the Ravens will start at the 30 after the 45-yard Barnard's punt, trailing 10-3. 60s and into the 70s. Johnny Unitas have a new statue 19 feet tall out in front of the new Baltimore Stadium honoring Unitas, as Jamal Lewis up the middle to the 33-yard line and met by LeVar Arrington.
Recently, the National Football League put together their all-time football team since the dawn of the game, and they just no extra players at any position, and Johnny Unitas was the choice at the quarterback position.
Well, you think of all the great ones, and it's good that enough voters are still alive to remember how brilliant he was. The older we get, those who saw Unitas have passed on. Can't vote for him. Banks into the flat. Lewis, and he's wrestled down by Arrington. So 2 solid tackles by the rookie from Penn State on the last 2 plays, and Baltimore now looks at 3rd and 6.
You hate to say this about Baltimore, down a touchdown, but the way they've been playing, they need 3 scores to take the lead. They only measure points in Baltimore recently in terms of field goals. It's a 3-score game for them.
Two of those won't do it. 4 for 11. The Ravens on 3rd down today. 4-man rush. Quick throw. Great catch by Ismael. Leaning to the inside and picks up the first down at the 44-yard line.
Well, if I was in the Baltimore huddle right now and I was one of their players, I would be saying, remember Jacksonville. Because the 2nd game of the season this year, this team mounted one of the most impressive comebacks I've ever seen against the Jaguars when they were at home in Baltimore. And that's the kind of plays that they had to get that thing going. Somebody making a play, somebody doing a little something more than just being average.
First down from the 44. Lewis, he's dragged down, trying to go wide at the 40-yard line. Bruce Smith, supported by Derek Smith.
Well, there's Bruce Smith, and it starts off with some penetration at the middle, but this is Bruce Smith just fighting off the block, working to the outside. And again, I think Jamal Lewis much more effective when you can keep him north and south. If you can turn his shoulder stick, get him going parallel to the line of scrimmage, half the battle's won.
Bruce Smith said he's only 260 pounds. He weighed 310 as a rookie. Slim as he's ever been. Banks to the outside, and Badejo has the catch, but very short yardage at the 43-yard line.
Kalu there trying to go for the high jump record during the course of an NFL game. Take a look at number 72, Andy Kalu. Watch him as he tries to go over Jamal Lewis and stays on his feet. Now there's a little athletic ability.
Mike Arnold, our director, Lance Sparrow, our producer, they've caught some most unusual moments in this game. You can put together about 5 plays that you don't often see. There's another one.
I couldn't jump that high from a step ladder.
3rd down and 11. To the flat. And Taylor trying to twist away, but can't elude Terrell. And it'll bring up 4th down.
Running out of the cluster, something everybody in the National Football League really tries to do. And what you have to do is first track the guys, identify them, which one is mine, and then make the tackle. And that's exactly what David Terrell did right there.
Good job indeed by Terrell, the first-year defensive back from Texas El Paso.
They start crisscrossing. It begins with identifying the right guy and then executing.
Time working against the Ravens. 5:40 left as Richardson's kick and Thrash unable to come up and fair catch it. It's downed by James Trapp inside the 10-yard line. We'll take a time with NFL Today. Stephen Davis with a start that is stopped quickly by Ray Lewis. Now that's a more typical Lewis tackle. When he gets you, you go down right now.
It really looked like a defensive unit, Dick, that after the mistake right at the end of the first half that started off the second half, they didn't seem to be moving to the football or tackling with the energy that they did in the first half. It looked like it was missing for a while. I don't know what happened in that locker room, but I doubt it was a very jubilant bunch, even though it was a 3-3 score.
That's Tony Banks in the final minute from the 1-yard line threw into the end zone. Was intercepted by Kevin Mitchell to deny Baltimore. 3rd down, and what a defensive play as knifing through was Cornell Brown to stop the ball carrier and bring up 4th down and take us to New York.
Coming up later, your chance to win a whole bunch of great NFL goodies, plus a trip to the Super Bowl 35, which is in Tampa, Florida. You can experience the big game in person, courtesy of Sky Sports.
Oh, a big game against longtime rivals, Raiders and Chiefs. It's 3rd down and 9. From the 10-yard line, here's the shovel pass, and it works. And out to the 22-yard line goes Larry Centers with a big Washington play.
A well-executed, a conservative call, a high probability play of being run effectively. The worst thing that happens to you is not a turnover, but maybe you don't pick up the first down. But look how well that is blocked. Great work downfield by Steven Alexander, the tight end, who held his block all the way down past the sticks.
And that first down puts some pressure on the Baltimore sidelines because the clock now reads 3.5 minutes. Ravens have all 3 timeouts. That was the 6th catch by Centers. Here's Davis, and he's out to the 27-yard line. Good pickup on first down.
And Dick, this is where your running game, this is where you can't just flip the switch. When you can run the football in a situation like this, it's because you start from the first day of training camp being a running football team. It's a mental aspect of the game that comes into play now.
Seconds left in the 4th quarter. And Davis, as you can see, his total now to 75 yards. He gets the call, and he's hit at the 30, shy of the first down. It'll be about 2 yards to go on 3rd down as Jamie Sharper makes the tackle. No runner has been able to gain 100 yards against the Baltimore defense in 23 consecutive games, and now Davis more yards and the Ravens need a stop here. They have only 1 timeout remaining, and Johnson play action throwing, but no one open, but a flag goes down intended for Steven Alexander, and they're going to say holding in the secondary, and that would give a first down to the Redskins.
Tim Herring standing there with his arms outstretched with the classic "who me" look.
Oh, that's a big penalty.
Crushing.
Illegal contact, number 20, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's a first down.
Tim Herring, the 4-year safety man from Penn State.
Check it out to the right side of our screen. Well, we can't. Illegal contact had to happen with some sort of an illegal hit before the ball was in the air. So that happened well before Herring came into our shot.
Now only one timeout left and the 2-minute warning for Baltimore as Davis takes it to the 39-yard line and Burnett makes the tackle. Just under 3 minutes remaining, and the Ravens will spend their final timeout.
Unfortunately for Baltimore, every error defensively is magnified when you have an offensive. Teams in this league that can only dream about limiting someone to under 100 yards rushing.
On second down, Davis again drives through tacklers out to the 45, leaving him only a yard shy of a first down. 250, 247 now. And a reminder, coming up on the Subway postgame show, Jim, Mike, and Craig will have the scores, the highlights, the latest NFL news. So stay tuned. The Subway postgame show coming up. Now, one big upset brewing in Buffalo, where the Chargers at last look were still leading the Bills 24-21.
Well, a lot of times games don't end up being what you thought they were going to be. This game has been exactly what we thought it was going to be. Two heavyweights really smacking each other around.
Brad Johnson's going to wait till the play clock ticks down and then spend one of the Redskin timeouts at the 2:12 mark. It's 3rd down and 1, and Washington wants to make absolutely certain that they have the call that the coach and the quarterback want. For Denny Green at Minnesota, coach with Green at Stanford, and it's got to be very difficult for him. He loves his defense. Why wouldn't you? But why can't we score?
You're asking the impossible, though. You're asking the impossible to win a 3rd straight game without a touchdown.
And one must wonder now how long it will be before Jeff George gets his opportunity. It does fall back on the quarterback's shoulders when you don't score touchdowns.
And right now, if you play offense for Baltimore, it's got to be awfully tough to look at these defensive players in the eye.
Fred Dilfer, the backup quarterback. George is with the Redskins, and there's the first down by Davis as he pounds to the 47-yard line. And that'll take it to the 2-minute warning, and Baltimore will have no timeouts to spend on the other side of this break. Washington.
Can this Baltimore defense, Dick, really play inspired football? It's human nature to question, well, what's the use? We can't score. You've got a 5-2 football team, as Marvin Lewis, he's going to have to work with his guys, and he's going to have to start with, fellas, we got to hold it together. We can't start to eat our young here and start sniping away at the offense.
3 straight games, no touchdowns, 10 field goals, no touchdowns, and Tony Banks feels it as much as anyone. And again, I think the question is worthy of being asked. Will Trent Dilfer get a chance to throw the football if Banks can't get his team in the end zone? Acquired as a free agent from Tampa Bay in the offseason. There's another kneel down to bring up 3rd down.
Well, congratulations to the Washington Redskins. This makes 4 wins in a row. There is Dilfer, as he has worn nothing but a baseball cap.
16-6 over the Giants. Overtime 2017 Tampa Bay. Then last week at Philadelphia 17-14. And thanks to an end zone interception from the 1-yard line thrown by Banks at the end of the first half, apparently, and now they'll not be able to stop it now. Don't need a kneel down. It's 5-2 for Brian Billick. His 3-game win streak ends without a touchdown scored, and for Norv Turner, 4 in a row after that 1-2 start.